notradio.net. This is Not Radio. It's a podcast.
This is Not Radio.
Whoa. Get some feedback going on. Notradio.net. This is Not Radio. It's a podcast. There we go. Oh man, it's going to be interesting. This is completely a test. Again, this is live test number 2. And got an audio board. Got lots of stuff going on. Trying to check all sorts of levels and see if we can even make this thing work. Alright, so normally this is where we'd have your headlines. And it is Tuesday, February 13th. Probably a ton going on in the world because it's a big world. But like I said, this is a test, so we're not really heavily promoting the show right now, but just trying to make sure that we can get everything working. So we'll see if this probably doesn't even get published on our SoundCloud account. In fact, we may not even have any listeners. But that's definitely the way she goes. So let's check it out. Publish. Sure. I don't even know what that means. Create new page post. So we can like... All right, live episode number 2. And this is where we'd have a little bit of banter going on. And I'm just going to yammer while I try and figure out what exactly is happening with Facebook. I don't know if you've done any live broadcasts before. This is quite the journey. It's not exactly clear what buttons to push. Yada, yada, yada. All right. This takes me back to my old broadcasting days in college. And broadcasting, how about that? It's something for the world. I don't have anything specific prepared, except I'll tell you a little story about Not TV and Not Radio. This has been quite the journey, actually. And if anybody is happening to listen to this, you may or may not know that over this last summer we did a crowdfunding campaign for Not TV. And that was quite the journey. Learned a lot about not only crowdfunding, but also what exactly we needed to create prior to crowdfunding for Not Radio and Not TV. And that would be not just the content, but the actual system, the community, the website. A fully working and functioning website would have been fantastic to send people to, and then you would understand why you were donating money to this project. But with so many things going on in the world, the content portion, Not Radio and Not Now, is really designed and geared towards curating content. With so much going on in the world, it's really useful to have curators. And there's more and more curators popping up. In fact, there was a conversation on CBC Radio this morning with some entrepreneurs who are in the creative industry in the UK, and they have a curation business, and they've created this website, and they do graphic design mostly to pay the bills, and they don't want to just be branded as graphic designers, but they're more heavily invested in creative curation. And the gentleman said, I would not want to get into this today. He did like 10 years ago, which is great, but here we are arguably trying to get into this today. And I get it. It's, maybe you get it too. So many things out there that if you're venturing off onto your own, where do you start? And how do you get noticed in the world? Well, maybe the world's just getting a little bit smaller. Maybe that's what's happening here. And maybe there's a place for you in all of that noise. And that place is exactly where the world needs you to be. because we all have something unique to offer the world. And I think together we will create something quite amazing for the future. So that is the intention of Not Radio and Not TV, is to bring together a community of world changers, a community of content creators, a community of businesses and like-minded people that are focused on creating an amazing new world and making the world a better place. The mainstream news, when you pop it on, there's a lot of stories that have to do with destruction and death and what we might call negativity, positivity, how we view it. That's all so very subjective. But it's news, right? It is what we consider news. And with the new Facebook algorithms, what exactly is news? What exactly is Facebook going to feed to our pages, to our walls? What has Facebook decided is news, and what has Facebook decided is breaking news? Well, here at Not, being our brand, here at Not Radio, we are looking at stories from a slightly different perspective. We're not competing with the mainstream. We're not trying to lead with what bleeds just to get more viewers or listeners. We're looking at businesses and people and ideas that are setting in motion what we could call a brave new world, although it's not the brave new world from the story, or so we hope, as there was a online poster that said 1984 was not supposed to be an instruction manual. And it's actually, I got a desktop background here that's kind of interesting. That that's tiny. See, one of the cool things here is that we can actually browse the internet and view image and expand. This is low quality. Wow, incredible. Well, I'll show you. I can get, and this is all part of the test, of course, I can get up graphics, and we can surf the web together. And now we can go on a whole new journey together. And as we test this, we're using a program called vMix, actually, which is kind of a cool program. This is a program that Logan White uses, Popeye Media out of Calgary. Huge shout out to Logan. Logan is one of the, well, he's great at live streaming. He's doing live streaming out of Calgary, live streaming sports, he's got a whole truck and he's even building some of his own equipment. So he put me onto a vMix here, and this program does it all. So right now we're looking at an image that's streaming from the other computer, which I can just pump straight up onto full screen here. And if I jump over to this other computer, I can hit F11, and I got to get to the right window. There we are. F11, make it full screen. Why not? And this is actually a website called calm.com, CALM.com. And what's beautiful about calm.com is it's a meditation website. It's really simple. And the guys who built it, or girls who built it, have done a phenomenal job. So if you just need somewhere to go, just to get a break, this, to me, is what the web was really designed for. Just to be able to see things, simple things. And the commercialization of the web, that's one thing, but there's a lot of amazing tools out there that I would like to be able to share and have much more of a point to this. So we're going to listen to something while what's a morning? What can we listen to? We don't have our SoCan license yet. Shh, don't tell anybody. I'm going to play some music. Well, you know what? Grizz is an artist from Detroit, but I got to hear Grizz up in... is that Grizz? Absolutely. And heard him up at Astral Harvest a couple years ago. And I'm just going to leave you with this track for now, because this is part of it, testing all these different microphone sources. So this is going to be channel 3, 4, and hopefully this doesn't feed back. I'll leave you with this song, giving me 4 minutes to think up my next move. Good morning.
Isn't heaven, I never wanna know what's afterlife. This my new dimension, I'm hanging on to the horizon line. Tonight, won't you let my friends in? I feel like making love tonight. Tonight. Find them. The harder that you try to, it just keeps slipping, slipping. The thing about horizons, you can never really tie them down. The harder that you try to now, it just keeps slipping, slipping, slipping. Setting, I feel like making love tonight. Tonight, won't you let my friends in? I feel like making love tonight.
Oh, sorry for that quick jump. I was trying to mix. This is Atya, Atyya. I'll share this on our SoundCloud account. Atya is another artist that I saw. Where did I see Atya? I think this was actually a camp music festival outside of Vernon in British Columbia. There's some good tunes here just to chill out in the morning, keep it relaxing. We'll start off with a meditation after this. Enjoy. I think we'll just keep rolling right into the next song here. More at ya. Coming at you here on notRadio. Live. right into the next one. This next song is called Volition. I'm just preparing some headlines for you. I'll be back after this song. Doing pretty good here on Tuesday morning after a long weekend. Hope everybody had a chance to get a good night's rest yesterday and over the weekend, just to take a break from whatever you're doing. The Olympics are on. I don't have a highlight for you, although we do have a Canadian gold medal. That's Scott Moyer and Tessa Virtue. And I guess there was a video on Facebook that some people were playing, and I'm sure if you scroll through your feed, you will see that. I could jump over to the other computer, however, I'm sure, and check that out. But you think it would be easy enough to be like, Olympic highlights, Canada. Like, this is what we do, right? You think of something, you jump on the internet, you click a few buttons, and boom, it pops up. But it's always nice to have somebody else do it too. You know what? I asked my friend questions when I was in college and sent him a message, and you know, a smart guy. I'd ask my friend Mark, and he would reply with a link that would take me to a Google page, and it would type my question into the search bar and return a list of results. It was called "Let Me Google That For You." Yeah. So I got a couple of headlines for you here anyway. Planet Earth, as we see the Earth spinning at 7:40 a.m. If you're watching this on the replay, of course it's not 7:40 a.m., but these headlines may still be somewhat relevant. If you're watching this a week from now, well, maybe a little less relevant. These are minor. It's just 3 quick headlines about media, internet media, Facebook, Amazon, and YouTube. Facebook launched its watch service back in August, and it did so as a home for longer form content like cooking shows, live sports, reality shows. It was wanting to compete with YouTube, and now it's planning to create a system to allow original content creators to upload their programming. And it's going to allow original content creators to upload for free to earn a portion of the advertising revenue. So the company isn't going to buy the rights to these shows, but it's going to seek a self-sustaining platform for the programming. Interesting. We've been working here at Not TV and Not Radio for a decade trying to do the same thing, but a bootstrapped family-run company just doesn't have the same resources as a behemoth like Facebook. So we will see what happens and continue to pivot and shift, because that's all you can really do to carve your place in the world. And if you miss a window of opportunity, just don't give up, because there will be more opportunities. Now, with that being said, sometimes you need to adapt or evolve or pivot. So to cling to an idea could be, well, that could be painful. So as I've worked on Not TV, that's part of the inspiration, is to continue to pivot and look for new directions and new possibilities and new opportunities. And if content is in fact king, then all along we've been working to create content, meaningful content, a platform of curation, and to really help put the spotlight and the focus on other artists, so it's not just us here at Not Radio by our lonesome, but instead we can recognize the creations and works of others and businesses that fit with our values and our mission, our why. Our why is to make the world a better place, or to at least offer that as a way of an alternative to seeing media as influential. Let me continue this. Facebook, by making this move of connecting with original content creators, is planning and hoping that it will be another venue for advertising on its social network, and it wants companies to be able to select the programs that their brands will be associated with. So they must have been reading my emails again, which is fine. Oh, man. You got to jump on things, right? Do your darndest. And keep going. Persevere. Push through. Gather people around you. Share some momentum for your vision, but really keep moving forward. And you got to produce. I think execution really is the key. Amazon has a program called Amazon Video Direct, which lets content creators and visual storytellers reach millions of Amazon video customers. You know, I'm going to make a little note to myself because we do have a distributor here in Kelowna, in town, who has been using Amazon. And I think part of what we will do for our audience consisting of a lot of entrepreneurs, self-employed individuals, leaders, and just business owners, millennials, people that younger and the baby boomer generation that are still here in the workforce, working to provide something of value or service to others around the world. And together we share. I don't know. I want to have a conversation here, so I don't have any callers right now. And I think in time, as we get through this test, we got to make sure that everything works. I mean, these broadcasts, you really just want to nail that it works. And after a few meetings we've had with Not TV, where you're like, wait, half hour, 45 minutes, because there's a technical glitch. Well, you've tuned in to the test, and this is the test broadcast. So every morning we're going to hold some space from 7 a.m. till 8 a.m. Pacific time to continue this test until we are ready to go forward with our live programming, which will consist of some banter, some conversation, some guests, some news, and highlights of different businesses and creators. And we will put this onto our network, Not TV, which is a cooperative network of artists. And the intention is to build a brand together and to share that brand. And if we end up distributing this content on Facebook and Facebook pays us, that income, that revenue will feed back to the content creators. But I just believe that there is a greater chance for success together as we share our audiences together as well. And I think there's a service to be provided here behind this microphone and in our newsroom, which doesn't exist yet. This is it. This is the newsroom. No, we're not on the space station looking down at Earth. We are in a small closet buried, nestled in the Rocky Mountains in British Columbia, Canada. And here we will continue to broadcast to you, the amazing people of the world doing amazing work. And as algorithms change and Facebook changes and YouTube changes, we're going to do our best just to continue having a conversation about all of this and to make it bite-sized. So we've got some things to learn on our journey, like within this hour, what is going to be the most valuable topics to converse about. Can we chunk it up? Can we break it up? Or will people find value in actually watching for an hour? I know your days are busy. Everybody says that, right? So many people. Everybody. I'm too busy. I don't have time for that. I don't have time for this. Well, the beautiful thing about a podcast is you can listen to this anywhere you go, on the road, in your car, on your bike. You can pop your earbuds in while you're walking. I do got to warn you just to be extra aware of what is going on around you. Maybe leave one earbud out every so often. You want to be able to hear traffic and be aware of your environment. Situational awareness. Okay, this last headline on media is about YouTube, and it in correlation with the Facebook watch coming out, the competition from Facebook comes at a time where YouTube recently announced it's instituting stricter ad policies and making its revenue sharing program more selective. It's weeding out some of its creators in this manner. So to qualify to earn ad revenue from content under the new guidelines, creators need to accrue 4,000 hours of watched video within the prior 12 months and have a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. These new rules apply to new content creators, but will retroactively apply to existing partners as well. It's important to remember that any move by other companies to enter the video sharing space comes with inherent risk. YouTube has produced its share of controversy. I'm just reading this verbatim. I got to admit this. I'm on his website called IB Times, and I did not rewrite this article for broadcast conversation. But I feel like there is a part of I'm kind of ad-libbing as we go, but yeah, marketers began boycotting YouTube last year when they became aware that their ads were appearing beside videos that supported extremist views. And that sparked a big outrage, I think, amongst creators as well as the advertisers. And more recently, the YouTube Kids, sparked outrage when inappropriate comments were formed on many videos. Now, there are also videos being created on the YouTube Kids platform seemingly by bots, artificial intelligence, robots, whatever you want to call it. It's like machine learning. They're taking the top buzzwords, mashing them together, and even, I don't know if the animation is being created by machines or what, because it's these characters out of place, scenarios that are really inappropriate for children to be watching around, death and destruction. Not that there's not a place and a time to learn about death, but without adult supervision, these kids are, there's one kid, and he's watching YouTube, and he's like, "Mom, I'm scared." And she looked over, and it was this zombie, like, walking off a rooftop to his death. And she's like, "Oh, there's no filters." It's not like you grew up with television, and in Canada especially, there's strict rules when it comes to children's programming and especially advertising to children. And it's not that strictness is a negative thing. It's designed to protect our children, our young minds, that we are able to develop and then make decisions about what we want to see when we're, of age. And that's actually part of our culture and what we need to look forward to the future. Like, what do we actually want our children and our youth exposed to? Because right now it is a bit of a wild west on the internet, and we're learning, but so are the machines. The machines are learning too. And with that being said, well, I'm just going to tweak my levels a little bit again here. With the machines learning as well, we really need to be aware of that so that it's not profit-driven, right? That people that are out to just let computers do the work and get away with, I got my viewers, I got my $1 million, I got my $100,000, I got my 10 grand, my 1,000, whatever it is, to throw in my pocket, go on to the next thing. There are people who don't have a strong why, or their strong why is money. And that's the corporate ideology. And I'd like to find out what content creators are out there not using robots to create their content, that have a little bit more of either a mission or a purpose, or even if it is just to be creative. And that's letting the art form move through you. So I look forward to having those conversations in the weeks and months ahead. My last headline here for you is about sleep. Just a couple of suggestions about getting back to sleep. I didn't read this full article, so we're just going to read part of it together, or at least skim it. It talks about staying calm. And staying calm can be difficult for anyone under a great deal of stress, especially for entrepreneurs who are building a business. Fortunately, there is one simple way for entrepreneurs to stay calm at work, no matter what obstacles they may encounter. Get a good night's sleep. Some entrepreneurs may find it difficult to fall asleep at a reasonable hour, but don't give up. There are a number of non-habit forming products. This is going to get interesting. If you're having trouble falling asleep at a normal hour, try to avoid consuming any type of caffeine after 2 p.m. every day. This is your public service announcement brought to you by, what website are we on? Entrepreneur.com. So even if you have a high tolerance for caffeine, it can continue to affect your alertness for hours after it has been consumed. This site, an article, actually suggests not to pop sleeping pills either. may seem like an easy way to fix your sleep struggles, but sleeping pills can actually make you more tired and irritable the next day. If you do want to use a sleeping aid, a supplement such as SomSleep is preferable since they promote rest and relaxation instead of acting as a sedative. What is SomSleep? It's a drink. Oh, man. It's interesting. It comes out of a can. It's promoted by a variety of things. It says it's vegan, non-GMO. Interesting. SomSleep. I wonder if that whole article and the whole point of that article was just to promote selling this product. It's hard to say in this day and age. Like, I don't get that. You know, as a broadcaster, news source, how do you, like, is it appropriate to recommend products or just to cover this story? And then does that present an opportunity for advertisers to specifically promote next to that story? Like, if this little news blurb ended with a commercial for SomSleep, which I wonder if they even have a commercial. I don't see a video on their website. They have Instagram, they have Facebook and Pinterest and Twitter, but I don't see YouTube and I don't see a commercial. So that's something. I actually feel that every company, every product, just like in the days of having a website, like you need a website, and it took companies a long time to get a website. Now we're looking at upgrading our websites because we can make things so much easier and cleaner and nicer. And well, the next step is to have a video. So these guys, they got a story. It's not a long story. It's just a short one paragraph quote from the CEO. Okay, that's cool. Legitimate company? I don't know. Interesting? Maybe. Video? None. No video on their website whatsoever. All right. So no promo for SomSleep. I was going to use them as an example of just cutting into a commercial right after this. Like if I only had a list of little sound effects and whatnot, I could just, jump over there. Do I have this sound effect? Free sensor beep sound. That's funny. That's interesting. Let's see. If I was to... Oh, I still got some music playing. Okay. One thing at a time. One thing at a time. It's good having two computers that you can do to work all this out, but I don't know. It would be easier if these computers were side by side. My sound effects folder's empty, by the way. I got nothing. I got a jingle. Nope, that folder's empty too. How about a podcast sweeper? What's a sweeper? I'm glad you asked. I'm pretty sure it's like a station ID, or it identifies what you're listening to. Let's have a listen.
NotRadio.net. This is Not Radio. It's a podcast.
Yep, there you go. That is our sweeper. Just to remind you, in case you forgot what you were listening to. In fact, in case you forgot, this is Not Radio. We're in the final few minutes of our broadcast here, and we were talking about sleep. Oh, here's one more tip for that. If you wake up in the middle of the night, experts recommend never laying in bed for more than 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, get out of bed, find something boring you can do so you can fall back asleep. Instead of turning on the TV, which is stimulating, can make you feel more alert, read a boring section of the newspaper or fold clothes. Doing these activities, it says, will clear your mind and make you feel drowsy so you can return to sleep until the morning. Winding down and going to sleep at a normal hour can be hard. And if you're under a lot of stress as an entrepreneur, it's worth it to preserve your relationship with your employees, maintain a positive working environment, and stay focused on building your business. There you go. One thing that doesn't mention at all is meditation. So I'm going to jump back to our beautiful spinning earth, courtesy of calm.com, and actually change the background here. We got a little background list, which is cool. And the one we started off with was this beautiful lake. And they actually got quite a few. So I invite you to check it out. They actually even have a guided meditation that you can do on here. And if you want to get an app, I'm gonna pull this one up for you right now, because this one is very worth it as well. Insight Timer, it's called. And the company that's built this, it's a free meditation app, and I think that is really significant because there's so many things out there that you have to pay for. But I've been using this app for a few years now, and they completely redesigned it. They had donations from people to help support it, and there are some extras you can buy on it. You can buy some extra bells and whatnot. But if you're looking for a good app, this one is fantastic because it's actually got meditations right in the app, and there's a big community, so you can see how many people you've meditated with or, are meditating with at any given point in time. So it feels like you're part of this community as well. And meditation actually is a way to calm our brain wave functions and actually put ourselves into a sleep state while we're awake, while we're conscious. So we can rest our body and our mind through meditation. And if you've never tried meditation, there's different types. You could focus on an object. You could focus on a word or a sound, like a chanting, like Om. You could have a visualization meditation, maybe staring at a candle, just watching it, working on clearing your thoughts. And meditation really is being focused on one thing for a prolonged period of time. So to focus on one thing, let go of your thinking about that one thing. So you're not thinking, you're letting go of thoughts, you're just focused on it. So instead of, it's not like you're meditating on a passage of words, right? That is a definition or an interpretation of meditation that some people describe. Well, I meditate on the Bible, for example, and I'll meditate on a passage of words. But that's letting thoughts come in. Even as in meditation is letting go. It's a continual letting go. So as thoughts arise, you let them go, you let them pass. But as zazen is not focused, you're not focused on any particular thing. So I guess the opposite of zazen is to focus on one particular thing. And that could be your breath. And that could be the sensations of your breathing at your nostrils. Just feel the breath, feel your nose, feel the entrance to your nose, feel anything that comes up, just a tingling, a sensation. And sit for 15 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes. Even 5 minutes, if you're just getting started, 5 minutes will make all the difference. But your mind is like a muscle, so continue to work on stretching that out. Our bodies and our minds will become complacent, and in that growth, it'll become easy to sort of, if we get too comfortable, we recede. And so we need to continue challenging ourselves. And that is the gift of being human, that you're here, you get a chance to continue to challenge yourself on a daily basis, to learn new things, to have new experiences, and to have positive influences like notRadio in your life. So I encourage you to, let me get this logo up on here, because that's like a little brand thing, notRadio. But I encourage you to subscribe, like us on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, just search up notRadio, and check us out on our website, notradio.net. We're live right now on there, notradio.net/live. And you can always just go to the website, notradio.net, and there's a live link right there, so you can find out when the next live broadcast is. We'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if you've checked out the replay, thank you very much. Again, this is just a test broadcast, so we'll be looking for things of more substance and working to start your day off fresh with a positive message of inspiration and a few news headlines, something just to kind of get you going. Maybe you can put it on in the background and we can throw some news, throw some music, and throw some motivation your way to start a great day. And if you catch the rest of it on your way to work, we'll do our best to get this from the live feed on Facebook and our website, uploaded to SoundCloud and onto our app. Well, we don't have an app, but Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play Music, we're on all three of those. Check out our podcast, Not Radio. This is Not Radio. It's a podcast. And you are listening to Not Radio. I'm Travis Cross, working on this for the last 10 years. Now we're just finally going live. Oh, boy. But, you know, that's the way it goes when you've got an inspiration or a vision. You just got to keep chipping away at it. It gets better and better with time. I mean, it seems to be a big deal that we're here now, even though the tools are much more available than they've ever been before. So there you have it. Tell your friends. Share this. Invite your mom next time. And we will catch you in the future. I'm going to cue up our outro music. And we will see you. Well, not really. But we will pretend to see you next. I was going to say a week. Catch you tomorrow. Come back. Check us out. If you have a story idea, music, or art to share, or any recommendations about great communities, businesses, or people doing awesome things in our new internet economy, contact us at thisisnotradio.com or notradio.net. They both go to the same place. And definitely subscribe to the podcast.